All right. Good Monday morning, afternoon, everybody. Some of you guys are morning. Okay. Today's topic is how to build your know, like, and trust factor. How many of you have heard that before? Like, you got to build your know, like, and trust. And you're like, well, what does that even mean? Like, how do I build my know, like, and trust? And many people, when I do social media audits, that just simply means somebody's like, gosh, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm being consistent, but something's not working. There's a gap somewhere. I'm doing all the things, but I'm just not getting the results. Usually I go over to their social media and I just do an audit, which just means I look at the last couple weeks and see what is the strategy being used on social media. Because the social media typically tells me what you're also doing in Messenger. And so when I see those things, a lot of times the first thing that's missing is that build that know, like, and trust factor. And so, how many of you guys feel like you have a really good foundation of that know, like, and trust? How many of you guys feel pretty solid about that? When it comes to your network, when it comes to your social media. Yes, awesome, Christina. That's awesome. Yeah, pretty good, Corey. Absolutely. So when I ask that, yeah, working on it. I love that. Authentic. You're vulnerable, right? You're willing to say, it's a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. So when I ask that question, I want you to think a little deeper. Do they know you? Like, do you guys know how many kids do I have, right? Just answer in the chat. This will tell you, do I show up to build my know, like, and trust at a high level? How many kids do I have? Right? Two. Yeah, absolutely. What do I love to do? What are like some of my loves? You'll see those happening throughout the year. Where is my passion lie? All of things. Yes. See, look, I don't even look at that. My know, like, and trust is pretty high in a sense of people know who I am. So if I were to go over to your Facebook right now, and I want you to audit yourself right now, if I were to look at the last week, would I get a good sense of knowing who you are? Would I like you? And would I trust you? And some would be kind of, and some would be like, I'm not sure. And some would be like, gosh, no. And that's totally cool. We're always growing. There's some weeks that I totally fail at this building know, like, and trust because I'm so excited about something, right? I'm in hyper promotion versus me being knowing, liking, and trust strategies, right? So I'm not in the strategy, I'm in the promotion. I'm like, whoa, pull it back and let's even this out. Let's balance this out. I'm going to talk about these things for you guys today. Yes, your stories tell more. Absolutely. And, that's a great place to put that little, let somebody be a fly on the wall of your life is in your stories. All right, I'm just looking at this. All right, cool. All right, let's dive into this. So I'm going to give you some bullet points that literally will boost your know, like, and trust immediately by just staying consistent, right? The first one is be consistent. I do not trust people who one day are on social and then they're like, gone. They're gone. How many of you guys know some people that literally are like, woo, and then they just go MIA? That immediately drops the trust level of anything, right? Consistency will drop that trust level immediately. You want to communicate consistently with your audience. What does that mean? Like if I post something and I don't go in there and communicate with people, guess what? I don't have that high trust and that trust factor there, right? You want to communicate with your audience. If you have 5 comments on a post, communicate with that audience. Communicate with those people commenting, whether they are strangers, friends, or already with your company, right? You want to still communicate with them. All right, we're going to fix that, Tina. That's a great topic, right? Not many people are seeing my stories. We can fix that. ask them questions. If you want to engage your audience and your network, how many questions did you ask them last week? Did you ask them, did you pull them into your life, or did you keep pushing stuff out at them, right? So I like to pull people in, and when people can be part of answering questions or helping me decide something, then they feel part of my life. That builds that know, like, and trust factor really, really fast. Now, don't go overboard and ask them a question every single day. But guess what? People like to be part of your life. And that is the easiest way with social media, is to ask them questions and bring them into your life consistently. Highlight your audience, shout them out, right? So when you're doing live videos and stuff, or somebody commented, you know, you can just shout them out while you're doing lives or in your stories. I like to say, you know, thank you. So when I get a book that somebody recommended to me, and it arrives, I take a picture and I throw it in my stories. I'm like, thank you so much, so-and-so, for the recommendation. I can't wait to dive in. That's shouting them out. That's highlighting them. That's saying thank you out in public. They immediately trust you and like you a lot, right? They like you a lot when you highlight them. Awesome, Emily. That's so cool. She just signed a person from her chicken list. That's a whole nother topic. All right. So the second bullet point is building your brand. Now, how many of you guys have heard, you know, build your brand, and you got so overwhelmed, confused, and you're like, I'm scared. I don't like that. That's just something that is always said. It's very known in the industry, is social media, is build your brand. I call it social marketing. Who are you, right? We go back to this. Remember this training I did on your social media balance sheet? Who are you? Don't worry about the word brand and what that detail is or any of that. This is your brand. You are your brand. So are you sharing who you are? Do people know who you are and what you love and your passions are? Or are you your product? I mean, honest truth, I just did an audit yesterday for somebody, and all I know about them is they are their product. I don't know who they are. I do, because I know the person, but looking at their social media as a stranger, I didn't know who they were. I didn't know what they loved. I didn't know, like, or trust them. I just knew they were promoting the crap out of something, okay? So are you consistently building your brand, right? Yes, Becky, you're the crochet lady. You are the mascot. Like, you're giving, you're serving. Like, when I think of Becky, I think of a servant individual that I just absolutely trust and love, because she's always giving back. She's creating, she's making things for people that need it. And so your brand is pretty strong, Becky. It really, really, really is. So if you are struggling with your social marketing, this is a really good tool to always have on hand to know that, are you balanced on that sheet? All right, so building your brand, you know, the biggest thing with that is start relating to them. You want to relate to your audience. That's going to build your know, like, and trust so fast, you guys, like, so fast. Do you relate to them, or are you so unrelatable? And here is an example, and I always like to use myself as an example, is if I were to post about the success I've had, that is unrelatable to anyone but a few that are in my social network, right? But if I talk about my start and the dreams I had, the work I put in, people can relate to that. They're like, gosh, yeah, I want that too. Yes, I want that too. If I say, you know, here's where we are, and not talk about the journey, that's unrelatable. It's not even, they don't even think they can do it, right? If I show up, and I think a lot of you guys, this was a thing I had with Instagram. I struggled a big time with Instagram, getting into Instagram, was I didn't relate to the Instagram images. I was never done up, but like, if I had an event. I'm a boy mom. I look like this. We're outside. I am not the Instagram picture. I had to get over that, because that was my image. That's where I didn't relate to that platform in my head. But once I realized that I am who I am and people relate to me, I then went over to Instagram, right? So you'll have those like, gosh, I don't belong on Instagram because that's not who I am. But in reality, you are. So that's another way. How relatable are you to your network? That's going to build your know, like, and trust. I didn't like Instagram because I didn't relate to it until I made myself feel a part of it in my way. Okay, does that all make sense? You want to start relating versus selling. And that's what I mean. When people can relate to you, why you use your product, why you use, why do you use Sculpt? If you just say, oh my God, it's an amazing product. Great, awesome. But how can you relate to them in that moment where they're going to go, maybe I want that too. Maybe I want that too. Maybe I need that product. Gosh, I really relate to how she felt before, and I really want what she has now in her life, right? The result. That's how you can be relatable versus shoving it in their face and going, and this is selling, right? You're just selling the story. Tell the story, a relatable story with whatever you're talking about. All right. Sales will come. And people are so focused, when you're in sales, you're so focused on the sale. You're so focused on it. But if you focus on your know, like, and trust, the sales come. They do. It's so hard to explain that actually happening. But when people know you, they like you, and you promote one product, right? You don't shove it down their face, but you're promoting in a relatable way. They're going to want it. The sales come. The sales come into your inbox, which is exactly what everybody wants right here, right? You want people to walk up to your door, knock on your door, and say, I want what you have. Well, that's the same essence on social media that you want, right? You don't want to be nagging people. You want to attract people to say yes to what you have. You want to relate to people, and you want them to know, like, and trust you. So they say yes without hesitation. So there's a rule I use on social media that really works well for me. I'm not going to train on it, but I'll give you it's pretty simple. I use 4 pieces. So it's a 4-2-1. So obviously there's 7 days in a week, 4-2-1. I break it down like this. Some people will say 80%, 20% for the whole week. That's another way to do it, strategy. So 4 pieces are linked to other sources. I want people to come to me for expert information, right? So I might share someone's post, or I might share some other knowledge. I might share something from someone else, like experts coming in. So 4 things are, I'm sharing other sources of content. 2 are original, always original. Sometimes I mix those 2. There might be 3 and 3, but people don't want to follow somebody that's a know-it-all, right? You guys kind of feel that, like they know everything. But they want to follow people that are learning always. They're always leveling themselves up. They're always wanting to educate themselves. And that's what that means. 4 pieces that you're continuing to grow with. And then 2 pieces, which is your original content. And then I always make 1 offer. So you may not see very much of my product all over my Facebook, but I'm offering it usually once a week. And can anyone in the chat tell me what day of the week is probably the day that I'm doing my offer, that I'm attracting in? It's always consistent, and I think most of you guys do it, but you might not be promoting it on that day. I'd like to see if somebody guesses that. Yes, Fridays. All of you can naturally promote on Fridays, because what are we doing on Fridays? Something that Chastity started 6.5 years ago, you guys. Like 6.5 years ago. But when I do it, do you feel like you're being sold? You never feel like you're being sold. You're relating to who I was and what this has done. And people say yes more on Fridays or Saturdays when they see that post than they do any other time of the week. Because I am relating to them. I've built my know, like, and trust all week. I haven't sold them a thing. And then I offer. And it's a relatable offer. So 2 is original pieces. Somebody asked what was number 2. I'll do something on that. I'll kind of go dive deeper into that. The next bullet point is network. I am constantly networking with people. What does that mean? I am talking to them. I'm engaging with them. I'm in Messenger, networking, right? Continuing to build that know, like, and trust. I'm talking to them. I'm asking them questions. I'm giving them advice. I'm sending them articles of things that I just seen they posted, like, hey, does anyone have issues with this? And it doesn't have to be relatable to anything that I have to offer, but I want to be there in their Messenger, helping them, serving them, because that's going to explode the know, like, and trust immediately. Immediately. When you offer them advice and help without asking for anything in return, that return comes so much faster, you guys. How many of you guys have ever had that where you've never talked to a person about products or opportunity, and then out of the blue, they're like, hey, by the way, can you tell me more about this? That happens because you've been their friend. You've helped them. You gave them advice. You gave them articles. You've helped them with recipes. You've said thank you in messages for them sharing their opinion or helping you, right? You were, what do we call that? Human. You're a human. And that is exactly why they came into your inbox and says, hey, can you tell me more about that? And usually I get those messages on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because they see my offer, my consistent offer on Fridays to relate to them and their life and where they want to be and their goals. All right. Snapchat, look at you go. I'm not even on Snapchat. My goodness, I can't keep up with that. Twice this week. Yes, Kelly, like seriously, it's so good. The next bullet is be transparent. Be transparent. Now, I am not saying put all your dirty laundry out on social media. I will tell you don't do that. But I will also tell you, you have to be transparent. You have to share the journey. The journey, I learned this from this saying from Chas. I'm not sure if she came up with it or she got it from her self-development, but when you get through something, that your mess becomes your message, right? But you want to get through it. You want to have a good heart about it. You want to be in a good place before you make it your message, because you can impact so many people with that message. But during it, in the mix of it, it might not be the best idea to put it out publicly, right? But your mess is always your message on the other end of it. On the other end, it's such a beautiful thing. So are you being transparent? Are you sharing those obstacles? I hate the word struggle because I feel like it's then just attracted to me. So I say obstacles. I am willing to hurdle over obstacles, run around them, bust them down. Struggle I don't feel like I can bust a struggle. So I try to say obstacle. That might be something you guys want to start doing too. But are you sharing those obstacles and relating to people in your story that you're sharing on social media, whether it's a live video or it's a post or it's a series of posts, because people are going to increase their know, like, and trust, especially their trust with you when you're transparent and vulnerable. Okay. The next bullet is be accountable, right? This seems like a lot of hard work. Like, gosh, there's a lot of things I got to do. It literally is just being a human that cares and that is serving people. Be accountable. If you tell somebody you're going to send them something, send them something. If you're going to, do something for someone, you need to do it. If you're going to say, hey, tomorrow I'm going to talk about that topic, you better talk about that topic, right? You're accountable. You're being accountable to yourself and to others. It just increases that know, like, and trust. Bottom line, I have somebody in my life, I love them to death, but I don't trust them in this sense. When they say they're going to do something for me, they never do it, right? They never do. That doesn't mean I don't love them. That doesn't mean I don't hang out with them. That doesn't mean that we're not friends, but I don't trust them because when they say something, they never do it. right? Or they say they're going to do something and they never do it for themselves, right? Over and over. Yep, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start doing my self-development every single morning. And they never do it. I'm like, I don't trust that you're going to do it. Like, I don't trust you. It ain't going to happen. I know too well until you prove me different. So definitely be accountable. The other next biggest way to build know, like, and trust is, we hear it all the time. What do we hear? That not many people do, but it's the number one way to build your business. Does anyone have any guesses in the chat? What's number one way to build your business, but not many people do it? They're scared to do it. That might help you guys answer that. Take a risk. Well, a lot of people are live, vulnerable, going live, build relationships. You're still missing it. I love this. I love this. This is so good. Okay. These are all good, but they're not the number one way, and it's validation. Validation, right? It's so far out that it's something we block from actually doing. So how can you do validation on your social media networks? Benita. Oh, laugh out loud. I love it. How can you do validation using social media? You can do validation by how most of you said, going live, interviewing somebody, right? Testimonies. Or sharing a story. Yes, it is all, like, when you share someone else's testimony, it builds your know, like, and trust, because it's not just you that's getting results. It is others also. That instantly increases it. Now, can it be all testimonies and you're going to build your massive business? No, because people still got to know and like you and trust you. So you still have to have that balance. You still have to have those days of the week where you're talking about you and your passions and your loves and who you are, so they know, like, and trust you. And that testimony is going to increase them to say yes. Like, they're getting hot and they're going to say yes to whatever you're offering them. So what is your offer? And sometimes that can get super confusing too, right? Super confusing, because every person, like, I did a social media audit last week, and I remember this one so clearly. It was so many offers. I'm like, what? I'm confused. I don't even know what to buy. Like, what do you want me to buy? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to focus on? It was like this and this and this. I'm like, whoa, like, I'm a confused person, which means what happens when people are confused? They don't buy anything. They walk away. They move. They go somewhere else where it's simple and it's straightforward. So what are you offering? What is it? So a lot of times people ask me, and, you know, with us, how do you stay focused on that? Well, what is my absolute love? What has changed my life? Yes, we have so many products, but what has been the number one thing that changed my life? That's what I'm constantly promoting and offering. I don't make it confusing for people. Now, could that hurt me? Some people may say, well, if you don't share all the things, they don't have any, you know, options. But what happens in Messenger is where all the options happen, right? They know they want something of what I have to offer, but in Messenger is where I talk to them really, truly about their goals and where other products are introduced to them. It's not confusing when it comes to social media, on my social media page. So that makes sense. Am I confusing anyone? I want to make sure this is seriously clear, and I never want to confuse anyone. Okay, so how to use testimonies. You can use them on live videos. You can interview somebody. I highly recommend at least once a week that you do something like that. Why? Because it creates consistency. It creates authenticity, which means live, you are who you are. You don't get to put a filter on, right? You will mess up. You will say the wrong things. And guess what? That just makes you human. And people love that. People love, which is crazy, but they love to see you mess up. And it's a really cool thing to do. It really is. You can do that in your stories. You can share before and afters. You can share a story in your stories. That's another great way to have a testimony. You know, from the beginning picture to taking step 1, step 2, step 3. Oh, this is 6 weeks later. Oh, this is 3 months later. So you have those pictures, right? Because what happens is people will see a before and an after, but that after might be in a year. What if you did a testimony story in your stories where it showed a story of that year? Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Yes, will it take time? But this is business. Business takes time. Success takes time. It just does. Okay. Any questions on those? Build your know, like, and trust. We have be consistent, build your brand, which is just simply social marketing. It's who you are using the social media balance sheet that we went over. You know, start relating versus selling. Relate to people versus selling them and constantly pushing product in their face like, this is what you need. Well, why the hell do I need it? Nobody knows, right? You're just constantly pushing things at them versus relating to them and them saying, yes, I want that. I need that. Network, constantly network, talking to people, offering them advice, giving them articles, recipes, hydration challenges, right? Hey, I seen you posted about, you know, you really want to lose some extra weight before the summer. I'm part of this 10-day water challenge, and water intake is the most important thing to lose weight. You want to do this challenge with me? Guess what? When you help them get results, they're going to want to buy from you. You didn't offer them your system. You offered them a challenge that would get them to their results. And then you have a product that will support them to get results faster, right? That is the biggest thing. I always bring people into challenges. And then when they know, like, and trust me, because I didn't try selling them anything, they want what I have to offer. Because then they see my before and after. It's like, how the heck do you do that so fast? I'm like, by the way, this will really help you get there faster. And like, I need that. But I had to build that know, like, and trust, that I wasn't just after their credit card number. Make sense? All right. Yes, my own, I will share my own before and afters. I will also share other people's, because not everybody thinks they can do what I do, but they're like, wait a minute, this girl did it too. Oh, wait, this is for dudes? Oh my gosh, look at his before and afters. Oh my gosh, look at hers. Like, that before picture is what they're going to relate to. And they may not relate to the image of my before. They may not relate to the fact that I had a 3-month-old, right? Oh, she had a 3-month-old? Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I don't have a 3-month-old, so that probably won't work for me. But you show them a before and after that's relatable to who they are and where they are today, they're going to have that, like, trust factor skyrocket right there. Does that make sense? All right, so I want to kind of go into Messenger now, in a sense of, we talked about Messenger being a place where you can really massively and fast build your know, like, and trust. And so, so when I look at Messenger, Messenger is my best friend. How many of you guys have an iPhone? And I don't know if Androids do this or not, but you look at your screen time, like you look in and it breaks down your different apps. How many of you want a challenge right now? Do you guys like challenges? Like, I love challenges. So I did this challenge with myself, and it was absolutely crazy. So when I was asked, hey, go ahead and go look at your screen time. Okay, pulled it up, and I'm like, all right. And then you go and look at the apps, right? You go and look at the apps that you had. And when I did it, I was like, holy crap, Facebook is number 1. That ain't okay. And it was number 1 by a lot. Like, and I'm like, okay, I need to do commenting and reach outs, and I need to, like, you know, build my know, like, and trust over there. Okay, I got to post once a day, twice, got to do stories a little bit. I got to see what's going on. So in essence, for me, I was like, okay, 2 hours on Facebook is probably the top limit. Like that's it. Like I shouldn't be more than 2 hours on Facebook. Now if you have Instagram and you're more on there, like, you know, you got to figure out what is your top. And then you got to determine how much of the other time is wasted time, right? It's wasted. If we know your customers and business partners are saying yes and growing by communication, by talking to each other, then shouldn't Messenger be pretty damn close to the same amount of time that you have on Facebook? I started to think about that, and I was like, okay, Messenger at the time was like 30 minutes. I'm like, this was back when I did that challenge with myself a little over a year ago. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, I'm only in Messenger 30 minutes. That means I'm not having enough authentic conversations with people. I'm not building relationships in a one-to-one basis that moves things in the needle faster and further. I am not in Messenger helping that newest promoter or that promoter to go to 4K or that promoter to go to 80K. I'm not in there. Like, the message is going to be much, much faster and move that needle at a faster rate and more success if I'm in there one-on-one talking to them or in group messages, right? That's when you know you are in production. You are in that know, like, and trust. You are a high producer. You are having conversations. You are a conversation starter. You're a conversation networker, right? You are constantly giving people advice and articles and recipes and guidance and just being a listening ear, checking in on people, following up, reaching out. Oh my gosh, right? All that has to happen in Messenger. So if your Messenger screen time isn't close to your Facebook or above your Facebook, that challenge is what I have for you. Work this week so hard to be more in Messenger than you are on Facebook. Bottom line. Or whatever social media platform that you use on a daily basis. How do you check? So if you have an iPhone, it's under screen time, and then you click on more info, and then it breaks down all of your apps right there. So like, I obviously was on Overstock a lot this weekend. I was on Overstock for 40 minutes. So, you know, like, that is just, it shows you where your time is spent or wasted, right? Where is it good? So that's a challenge for you guys. But how is Messenger your best friend? This is where, when I am reaching out to people or I'm checking in on people, I have my list, right? We've talked about that. Your list, like your cold, warm, and hot, from stories, from your posts, from your list in your phone, from your, all the things. You have so many people that you can be talking to. When I look at that list, I go over to their social media, see what's going on. And if I have something that will help them with something, I will send them a message, because I know direct, they'll get it. And so a lot of times I'm going, oh my gosh, somebody asked, like, what book will help me with this? That was this morning reach out. I went over to their Facebook. I'm like, oh, they're looking for a book. Let me share a book. I shared that book in Messenger with them and had a conversation like, this is why I like it. I can't wait for you. Let me know if you end up getting it. Or I had another book where I'm like, hey, but I got an extra copy of this. I'll just ship it to you. Is that cool? What do you think that did when I said I'll ship you a book? They like me a lot. They trust me, right? Like, it just went from, I kind of know her, to I really like her. How can you have messages like that that will increase that, right? So when somebody's talking about, hey, anyone have recipes that they're loving? I might post one on the comments, but I'll go into Messenger, because I know that that's a one-on-one conversation, and they're going to ask more questions on that end versus on the public end. Okay, so I send encouragement, right? I send articles, I send recipes, I send, hey, I just bought this. It might, like, people are always asking, what light do you use for your videos? I'm like, oh, this one, it's $12 on Amazon. You think immediately people are like, oh gosh, I wonder that I ain't gonna buy $100 light for these live videos or these Zooms. Right now I'm just using natural light from the window, but otherwise I send them this $12 light, and they're like, that's all you use, right? Immediately they're like, thank you, trust me, like me, right? All that just built fast. I send thank yous when people are commenting, or they've been in my life for a while, right? They haven't commented much, but they've been engaging in my posts or watching my stories. I'll just send them a random thank you. Like, you know, I've been thinking about you for a while, and I just want to say thank you for being part of my life in this journey. I really appreciate you and your support. That is huge, you guys. How many times do you send those thank you messages? And it's not weird, because if you know and you see them post or engaging or watching your stories, you don't have to say, thanks for watching my stories. That might scare them away. But thanks for being part of my life. I really appreciate you. They're like, oh, cool. You're welcome. How many more visits to your social media are they going to come to? A lot more. A lot more. I send, so I might share something on the comment thread of somebody who is asking something, but I immediately turn that into a message. And I talk more one-on-one with them about whatever that post was. You guys see what's happening? I'm not selling or offering anything, but I'm serving them and what their needs are. And that's going to build their know, like, and trust with me. So when I do make that offer, that once a week, I run that offer, they know, and they're like, I think I need what you have, because they know, like, and trust me already, because I've given them things for free. I've encouraged them for free. I've sent them thank you notes for free. I have given them, you know, advice for free. Everything has been serving them. And now they willingly bring out and say, yes, I want this. Okay. And I share vulnerability. In Messenger, when somebody is talking about a hard time, guess what? If I can relate to that, I go into Messenger and I voice message them and say, you know, hey, I'm here for you. I totally understand. I truly understand what you're going through. I am a listening ear. Maybe I have something that can help you through this, but let me know what I can do for you. I share that I can be relatable in whatever their obstacle is at that time. Okay. So that's how I do it. It's nothing, there's no like brilliant science behind it. It's a strategy. It's a strategy to being human. It's a strategy to letting people know I have a heart, that it's not all about business. Because sometimes that's what it portrays, that business, travel, business, travel. No, Messenger is where I can really share some advice and serve people at a very high level for free. Right? So awesome. All right. So anyone have any questions on any of this? I would love to answer them, but that is the training that I have for you guys. Yeah, that's it. It's a lot, but it's it. That's how I constantly build my know, like, and trust, where people literally walk up to me and they truly know me and they're a complete stranger to me at times, right? Because I have built such a brand, social marketing of who I am, what I'm about, where my mission, where my values, my vision are, all through social media. Because, you know, have you ever had somebody walk up to you and they're like, oh my God, like they know you, and you're like sitting there going, gosh, they know a lot. And I'm looking at them going, I don't know them. I don't have a clue where I would. And so I am authentic about that too. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. How do I know you? They're like, oh, I follow you on social media. I'm like, oh, great. Are we friends? Are we connected? Let's get connected, right? Immediately that builds your know, like, and trust with that person too. So that's just something that I highly suggest is, you know, always being transparent. If you don't know somebody, just ask, how do we know each other? How do we meet? I'm super excited. And people will tell you. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, it's always recorded. I throw all these over onto my YouTube, which is just Natasha Robertson, which is over on YouTube. Cutest cards from Amazon. Absolutely. You can use Amazon. You can buy them at your local stores. I use send out cards. So I use a service where I can use my handwriting, but they do it and they ship it. It's faster for me. Let's see here. Just looking here. Any questions? Any questions? If not, we're good. We're good to go. All right. I hope this was helpful. Get out there and build your know, like, and trust. And please, 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 please audit your social media. Audit your team's social media. Because if they're not getting results, usually it's because they're not building their know, like, and trust. You have no clue who that person is. You have no clue why you should trust them for any reason whatsoever, right? So that is the number one thing. If you are not growing your business, more than likely it's that know, like, and trust factor to bring people in to say yes to you. So, all right, guys, I am super, what was the card service? Sorry. I use send out cards. That's what I use. I know a few other people do, but you can do whatever, you can do anything, but I use send out cards. Yeah. I had to do something. I've used it for like 3 years. What do you do during company promos? Company promos, all company promo messages, guess what? They're in Messenger. I can tell you my personal results. Some people have awesome results posting promos on social media. I don't. My network does not budge when I post a promo. They go, cool. And they move, they walk away. But I have a list of people who have asked me questions. They were ready to start thriving, but something got in the way, right? Or I simply ask when people say, no, not right now. I'm like, okay, what's stopping you? Is it budget? Is it cool if I reach out to you when we have a promo where you can save some money? And they'll say yes. Like, if they want to save money and that's what's holding them back, I have my people on that list. So any promo, I send a private message to them saying, hey, remember last time we talked, you said the only thing stopping you is the money and the cost. Well, guess what? We have a promo right now. It's this. Are you interested? Would you like more info? You ready to get started? And they'll say yes or no. So all of those promos happen in Messenger. All of them. What about people who are scared to do Thrive when they tried everything else and it didn't work? April, right there, the way to overcome that obstacle is validation. That is a three-way call. I know you're scared. I know you've been burned before. I know you're hesitant to do this, but you have to hear my friend's story before you make a final decision. Okay, I'll hear your friend's story. And I connect them to a story that was also skeptical, that was also burned, that was also wasting their money on things and are just like so over it. That three-way call works every time. So if you've done it more than once, there's something else, right? There's something else. What is really holding you back? It's obviously not the fact that this product delivers results. You've seen the results, you've heard the results. So what is really holding you back? And sometimes it's something different. Do you use a system to track your likes, people? Yeah, I do. It's called, I just go back and on Facebook and I go back and I go, oh, a lot of people like that one. Let's go engage with them. There's so many now with social media. There's no possible way I could spend the amount of time it would take to track all of my likes, my comments, and my views. There's just no way. So I literally just go on Mondays. I look back at last Monday, go, all right, who do I need to follow up with? Who do I need to connect with? Who haven't I talked to since Monday when they commented on that? So I use Facebook to kind of track that. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. Go out there, do your audits, and start relating to people versus selling to people and watch your sales increase. And if you want your entire team to succeed, do the same with them. Share with them about their know, like, and trust. Share with them how they can get into Messenger and build that super fast and not being a billboard, but being a relatable human that serves at a high level. So thank you guys. And we won't be back on to this until we'll be back at noon on Thursday, right? So tomorrow we have Lisa Fuller doing a interview, 200K interview. Tomorrow or Wednesday, I have, I'll send you guys all an invite, but it's a live with Beth Graves at 8:30 p.m. So I don't want to do too much in any single day. So today and then Thursday, we're back at noon, and then Friday. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow at noon with Lisa Fuller, and she is interviewing a 200K, which they're super amazing, absolutely amazing. So get over there. I'll see you over there. Bye, guys.